Alright, this is test 1, demo 1 of the generic MMORPG engine. Currently this engine is divided up into 4 programs. First is the authentication server. The authentication server manages the user database and token authentication. Clients connect to this to get a token. If they are successfully authenticated, then they're able to connect to the game server, and the game servers can be distributed among lots of different servers with a single authentication server. Next is the file server. The file server maintains a list of assets. When the client connects to the file server, a handshake happens where they exchange lists of files, and any files that don't exist are then transferred. It's based off of not the file name, but actually the file hash. So if a file changes, it will be re-downloaded by the client automatically. This transfers all music, text files, images, etc. Next is the game server. The game server automatically handles authentication and asset transfer and everything like that. So by the time you get to the game server, everything else is already ready. So let's quickly start the client, connect to that. So the client has been authenticated, all assets have been downloaded, and now we have this little demo. So the client, this is an embedded JavaScript virtual machine that's running all this code. The engine itself manages the networking. The engine provides a remote procedure call interface for JavaScript. So in order to do networking, you just call a function on the server and it's executed. The server itself is also running a JavaScript VM, and so all the code that the user actually writes is in JavaScript. The engine manages the scene graph. So instead of all of this being drawn every frame by the JavaScript program, instead it's put in a scene graph, and the engine is handling smooth transitions between everything. There is nothing about what you see which is particularly required of the engine or a particular layout. So instead of like the engine putting an entity system on you, instead the engine just manages the essentials, and you're free to make whatever you want in that. Where all the difficult parts are already done. So databasing, networking, all communications are encrypted with SSL. The servers are all verified. The idea is that you just get a simple JavaScript API to make an MMORPG where all of the difficult parts have already been handled for you. So here we just have a basic demo where pathfinding is being demonstrated. This pathfinding is not built into the engine. This is actually just plain JavaScript like you'd use in a web browser. The engine accepts any valid JavaScript, assuming it doesn't depend on web browser specific things like the document object model, because obviously this isn't a web browser. All the pathfinding is being handled on the server, and the remote procedure call interface is being used to communicate the different states. The engine itself is handling all the player transitions and things like that, and the clicking address translation and whatnot. In the bottom left, we can see a basic text window, a chat area. So if I type some things in, you can see it pops up. This is multiplayer capable. Everything you see here can work with multiple users. Multiple users can be authenticated and what have you. I suppose that's basic demo number 1.